Well, I guess getting rid of straws didn't work out. You get it? Because I'm in a pandemic.
Don't touch my pod!
Hello, everybody. I'm Taylor Williamson, and welcome to Don't Touch My Pod, my brand new podcast talk show. Fun time. I was inspired to do this because I'm in a quarantine. I don't know about you, but I'm in a quarantine, and I'm trapped in my home. I'm a stand-up comedian. I've been a stand-up comic for 16 years. I was 17 years. I don't know how to count it anymore. You know, does 2020 count? I don't have a job anymore, but I have a lot of free time. And I want to connect with people. So I came up with this show where very creative. This has never been done before, but I'm going to talk to people and record it. And then you can watch and listen to it. I know, it's very creative. Very creative. I'm a pioneer. So on this show, I'm going to talk to other comedians, actors, pro wrestlers, scientists, people who work at the zoo. Maybe you. Are you interesting or weird? Do you know someone interesting or weird? Email me. don'ttouchmypod@gmail.com. The website is don'ttouchmypod.com. Instagram at don'ttouchmypod. Facebook, Don't Touch My Pod. Probably at Twitter. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I'm just trying to figure something out. don'ttouchmypod.com will have all the things you need. Video, audio. It's me on Facebook and YouTube and all the things. And we're going to raise some money for charity. Let's raise some money for charity and do something good we'll make some smiles happen, make some money. If you go to don'ttouchmypod.com, you'll see a link to the GoFundMe for, I chose Save the Children. Let's help make sure that it's a very legit charity and the GoFundMe goes directly to them. So if you're enjoying this show, or even if you hate this show, you have a terrible time listening and watching this thing, donate money to charity. Turn this into a positive. Make sure that underprivileged kids and kids get nourished and food during this crazy time. A lot of kids don't get food properly outside of school, and they're not in school right now. You know how that works. So let's do some good. And I'll probably keep trying to raise money for charity until I run out of money myself, which will be in about 2 months. Then I'll be asking you for money from me because I don't want to live outside. I hope you enjoy this show. My first interview is with my cousin Craig. He's one of the funniest people I know. He has a podcast called Yes Have Some. If you're into Ghostbusters or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or other geeky things that lead to virginity, terminal virginity, as they call it, you may enjoy his podcast a lot. I hope you enjoyed my conversation with him. I do want to note that I interviewed him before I changed the name of the show and came up with an official name. I thought I was going to call it something else, as you'll hear me mention about 4,000 times. I'm lying to you the entire show. I went back in time to be here and tell you that I'm lying to you in the future. Don't listen to anything I say. The website is don'ttouchmypod.com. The social media is at don'ttouchmypod on Instagram, Facebook, and probably Twitter. I don't know. And I hope you like the show. don'ttouchmypod.com. Here's the show. Sorry for all the lies. Let's raise some money for charity. Let's have some smiles. If you want to be on the show, please email me, don'ttouchmypod@gmail.com. This was a long intro. I agree with you. Get to the show. I hope it's worth it. However you feel. How do you think I feel? Thanks for listening, watching, smelling. Here's my first guest. This is Cousin Craig. Say hi, Cousin Craig.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me.
Are you talking to them or me?
I'm talking to everybody. I thank all the people for having me, but mostly you, and mostly them too. Is Save the Children a real foundation?
It sounds fake, honestly.
Yeah.
But I looked it up. It's really good. They're gonna help kids get food.
Okay, so is it specific to like this crisis? There was no Save the Children Foundation prior?
They were doing stuff before, but now they're focusing on, I don't know, it's help kids get food, all right?
Okay, good.
No, I really looked at it, like, if you go to their website, it's focused on feeding kids, because a lot of kids in school who they go to school. It's the only time they get food because they got parents who aren't able to feed them.
Right.
Things like that. You know, this is not what the podcast.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It's very sad.
Now we got really sad.
You're clearly hogging all the food from these children.
I am. What was that supposed to mean?
It's a fat joke.
That's not very nice.
I'm
Am
sorry,
I fat?
You're beautiful. I don't know. Just go with it. You know. You're very sexy, man. I like that we were gonna start this thing. We were about to start, and you're like, "Let me go change, make myself look better." And then you put on a Zack Attack T-shirt.
That's my favorite band. I don't want people to forget about Saved by the Bell during the pandemic. Actually, I bet people are watching it for the first time. It's on Hulu.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because people need stuff to watch. This guy I saw on Instagram today. He made a post. It was just a picture of Alan Thicke, and it said, "Finally catching up on shows that I've been meaning to watch. Just finished the first season of Growing Pains." I was like, "Oh, that's really nice."
He's never watched it?
I don't know why somebody would lie about that.
I've never watched my father's TV show.
Your father's TV show?
Robin Thicke's dad is Alan Thicke from Growing Pains?
Yeah.
I'm saying I've never watched a show made by my dad either.
It wasn't. Robin Thicke didn't make this post.
I thought you said Robin Thicke posted that.
No, just some guy on my Instagram.
Did I just make that up in my head?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm a little delirious. I'm in a pandemic. That would have been that's why I was so baffled by that.
Oh, okay. No, it was literally some guy with
the dad from Growing Pains' son was like, I finally watched the first season of my dad's historic sitcom.
Oh, yeah.
Should we start over?
Do you want to?
No, I don't know.
No, I think it's good. I think it's better than it should be. So
really, listen,
Taylor.
Listen. You take over.
You were the last human being I saw in person before the pandemic.
Is that true?
Basically, yeah.
By the way, I don't change the subject, but you know how people go to the gym and they drink out of these big things of water?
Yeah.
That's what I do now because I don't have to pretend like I don't drink out of my containers anymore. I haven't used a glass in 6 months.
Yeah, we ended up getting one of those Brita filters, so I'm always I don't have that. I feel like I didn't know they had plastic bottles out where you are.
This is better for the environment to have one of these, you know?
Is it?
Save the children, but the environment? You can't help everybody, you know?
Each week is going to be like, this week save the children. It's just like a really, like, it's going to be like save the whales. Each week you'll raise money for somebody.
Why do you say it like a joke? It's a good idea.
It is a good idea.
We're going to focus on children.
The whales are fine, by the way. They said the environment's doing a lot better now that people aren't outside.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Wait, so I'm the last. I saw you the last week when things were still. Well, you're in Georgia, so this didn't exist until 2 days ago, right?
Yeah, we just heard about this. I had WrestleMania tickets. I showed up and there was an empty stadium.
He's in, cousin Craig's in Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah. So March 12th to 15th, something like that. I was booked at the Atlanta Punchline, a great comedy club in Georgia. And I texted the club owner, and I was like, are we still doing this? Because that's when flights were kind of weird. People were like, I don't think I should fly right now, you know? And nothing was shut down yet, but it was looking weird. And they're like, yeah, we're doing this. So I went out there, I did shows, and every day it got pretty much twice as bad. And
it was really sad. It was, like, depressing.
Well, not the people in the crowd. They're very nice people, but they were all like, this is great.
Yeah, but it was like this weird... I think we're going to look back at that period of time, like that 2-week lead up to like a really interesting time in history where like half the country was like, okay, well, we have to stay inside now. The other half was like, no, that's not real. And now I feel like most people think it's real.
most people believe facts are real, you know? There's a few preachers that are trying to kill a bunch of people and a few Supreme Courts in Wisconsin here and there. And
I saw the video of like all the people going to church like the other day. Did you see that? You know what the most interesting thing about that video was? It was so early in the morning that it was still dark out. I didn't know people went to church that early. It was so crazy.
It was dark out and these people were driving. It looked like they were leaving too. Like they were done at 4 a.m. And the woman's like, nothing's going to get me. The blood of Christ is all over me. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. She better be careful because you can stay in those nice chairs at the church.
Aww.
Sorry.
That doesn't sound great, by the way. Having blood all over you.
I've never heard. I know a lot of people who are very religious, and I've had very nice conversations with them and very respectful, different views and opinions. But I've never heard somebody say, "I have the blood of Christ all over me." Like that sounds like a bad thing.
Let's take a shower, buddy. Even
Yeah.
even Jesus would be like, dude, you need a towel, but I'll give you a towel. Like,
Yeah.
I get that we're friends, buddy, but like, come on, that's like some Angelina Jolie, Billy Bob Thornton stuff, Remember they had like the vials of blood on their necklaces.
That's a good reference. I forgot what things happen in the world. That was from the Oscars.
Remember people were mad about things like that?
Remember when people remember like Joe Biden, people talked about him and like Baby Yoda and like there was all these other things people cared about before. Like, do you remember Pete Buttigieg? Do you remember that person?
Who's that?
Have you seen his new haircut?
Yeah, he cut a haircut.
Yeah, he got like a buzz cut and grew a goatee.
I had a good. This is not a quarantine beard for you? This is a Tuesday for you. I don't know if it's actually Tuesday, but
I mean, normally I would have gotten the girl who cuts my hair also does my beard, but she doesn't offer that as a service. I think I just asked her to do it one time and she did it, and like now it's kind of an understood thing. Like she doesn't want to, but she does it. I don't make her.
She just goes for it, It's rude if you don't let her. Like I used to go to this place called Floyd's. It's like a barber shop in LA, and after you get a haircut, they do this massage thing on your back, and I never liked it. I don't enjoy it. It's like an electric thing, and they put it on you. But I always felt rude saying no, thank you. I did.
Are you sure that was a salon?
But I did it for them, Same thing when I get a real massage and they take my pants off.
Don't you hate when you go to get just a regular massage and like halfway through they start cutting your hair? Like, what is that about?
Are we talking about pubic hair?
I don't know how things work out there. And they don't do that in Georgia. Listen, I like your sign.
Thank you.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I just didn't know like print shops were open to do that kind of stuff.
I have this really ugly setup here where there's this ugly like light switch thing. So I wanted to cover it up so people were distracted the whole time.
See, I think I would go the opposite. Like I'd leave it showing because then people are like, oh, that he could plug things in.
Oh, he's responsible. He charged everything he needs to charge on this situation.
No, I like it. I'm glad that you're doing this. I think this is what the people need right now.
This is what they need. Just what makes people smile. You know what's great is like I should have been doing this for the last 7 years or last 15, 16 years when my career would be much better than it is. But I always overthink things. But now I have the same equipment as the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
The bar is set lower.
What if Jay Leno started up again? It just was like
he could literally just compete with Jimmy Fallon and just have like Tom Selleck on.
Yeah, that would be great.
But he has to interview stars from the 90s though.
Can I ask you something about Jay Leno? Is he like, you hear people say he's like he's actually one of the greatest stand-ups of all time. Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It really is, and I'm not just saying that because I'm scared he's watching this. Like, if you watch his Tonight Show presence was different than him as a stand-up. Like, all the greats, they said that their favorite stand-up growing up was Jay Leno. And some people think
that's not true. There's no way that Chris Rock has ever said that sentence.
I don't know if he said that, but I bet you he admired the fuck out of Jay Leno. We curse now in the pandemic, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like pandemic cursing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man.
Dude, have you tried having food delivered how are you getting food? Are you having it delivered?
Yeah, we did go to the grocery store a couple times, but it's very evident, like in Georgia, that nobody's taking this as serious.
You literally shut down 3 weeks later than everyone else. Your governor announced 4 days ago.
Listen, not my governor.
Your governor, who you voted for 5 times illegally, you told him to say. You told him to say, I didn't even know that it could be spread by people who weren't showing symptoms until yesterday. That's how he talks. That's
not exclusive to coronavirus. That's how sicknesses work.
Oh, isn't it funny how we're all doctors now?
Yeah, everybody.
Like, that's how viruses spread. I knew that. I went to high school.
Yeah, but like, because Dr. Fauci, I feel like that guy, like, I love that guy, but I always he presents himself not like a doctor. He kind of seems like he's like the commissioner of like WCW or something like that. Like he comes out and makes these big announcements. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
That's so funny.
Like Trump's out there, and then Fauci comes out, and he's like, "Hold on, we got breaking news." I love that guy. I feel like he could be like related to us because we're cousins. Is he Jewish?
He seems Italian. He just seems better than us.
Seems better than me.
I'm Jewish.
To answer your question, though, we've been getting delivery. I've done Instacart a couple of times. The second time, the food just did. Like, I was so stressed because, like, have you used Instacart? They text you as, like, they have to replace stuff if it's not there. And they're like, oh, can I replace this? Can I replace this? And, like, I remember I wanted to text her back, like, can I replace you? Can I get a new shopper? I feel like I would find these things.
That's funny.
Anyways,
yeah.
The second time she was shopping at 8:30 in the morning. I was so appreciative. It's really hard work. She's on the front lines. That's what people are saying.
It's true. She's on the front lines. It's really like, it sounds funny, but it's actually true. They're really risking their lives to help you get your Chef Boyardee.
Yeah, but it didn't come. The food never, like, it was 2:00. And I was like, man, she was shopping at 8:30 this morning. There's definitely some like milk and dairy products. I'm like, where? Like, and then I checked and said it was delivered, and it just wasn't there. Like, it just wasn't there. So I don't know. I think somebody else just hit the jackpot.
So I had a Whole Foods delivery last week, and it's impossible. Like, you have to like put in your shopping cart. This is a secret. I shouldn't tell people. Put on your shopping cart, and then like check at 2 a.m. Check at 12:01 a.m. Check at 2 a.m. Check at 7 a.m. and see if you can just put it through because the delivery windows are so hard to get. I got one for Whole Foods, and then I ordered a bunch of random stuff too. It's like just like the things in between the things I need, you know. And
right.
And it said delivered. It didn't come. There's no customer service place you can contact, so I had to tweet out, "Hey Amazon, where's my food, bitch?" You know. And then they wrote back, and sorry, this is bitch. Here's your food. You know.
This is bitch. I called Instacart. They have a customer service, and it said estimated wait time was 282 minutes. And I was like, well, I don't have anywhere to be.
Who has time for that? Everybody on Earth.
Yeah.
But still, so I called a guy. And he's very nice. And they checked. They said it was delivered. Have you checked outside? I'm like, yes. I didn't. I'm not guessing it's not delivered. And he's like, "Did you check down the street?" I'm like, "Yeah." I looked left and right. What do you want from me? Like,
you go door to door.
I'm gonna check the whole neighborhood, you know, and send out a tweet. Has anyone seen my Whole Foods delivery? So it never came. They gave me a refund. They didn't refund the tip, which is kind of funny. But I figured out that the tip. It's a weird thing. Like, I tipped extra because this is crazy, you know, and and I'm rich for another month, and I'm literally in debt, so that's exciting. So like So I was like, whatever, and I don't like tipping in advance, but we kind of have to at this time, kind of. So, but then you could reverse the tip later for like a day. Anyways, it never came. Then yesterday, my neighbor called me from like down the street, and he's like, "Did you order a Whole Foods?" I'm like, "What?" And like, there's like a bunch of Whole Foods because there's someone with the way my street is. There's like letters to describe us, and my letter sounds like another letter. I'm being as vague as possible so no one murders me.
Okay.
You know?
Letter. Yeah.
Don't worry about where I live. I live in Chicago. Okay. And
by the way, I thought you were gonna say he just looked at the stuff that was ordered and knew it was you. Well,
that's the funny thing too, is like there was no name on it, so like it was put on so he just saw a bunch of weird shit. It was like, is this Taylor? So.
It's just like string cheese and Flonase.
But it was like, they were so sweet, but it was two neighbors. There's the neighbor who is in front of her house, and there's another neighbor who it was next to his house, and he's the one that called me. So the whole street team was like on the case of just like, whose package is this? And the eggs were still good. There's a bunch of meat in there, and bananas look good. There's soap. There's chocolate, soy milk. Don't worry about it.
Oh.
Chocolate almond milk, actually. And
you should have put up taken a picture of some of the items you ordered and put up signs around the neighborhood, like staple them to posts.
But I was like, where has this been for 6 days? And they're like, I don't know. Yeah, you know, they must have delivered it the wrong place. I'm like, so the people who had it for 6 days moved it over here, and my bacon is missing. My turkey bacon's missing. So I'm like, did they just steal the turkey bacon? Anyways, I figured out it was literally sitting in front of her house for like 6 days.
Your neighbor or the delivery driver?
My neighbor was out there just, whose food is this? And she's just looking around for 6 days.
Everyone's losing their mind. Like I saw, do you have Nextdoor? That it's like a social media website for your neighborhood. It's awful.
Yeah, did you do it?
Well, I'm on it just to. It's so fun. It's the most fun.
I signed up, but then they need your address because they have to mail you a thing to verify you're a real person. And I was like, I don't like this.
There's people on there who are actively like the people who normally do the neighborhood watch kind of people are now like they're calling the police on people who aren't social distancing. And this family that was just hanging out in their front yard the police got called on them. There's just a family. They all live in this house.
Can you do that?
And then
it's like the new calling up for like an illegal immigrant. It's like they're outside.
Yeah, no, that's what it is. And then other people are like, I don't think you should. Maybe you should. People are different. Some people are like, stay out of their fucking business, and some people are like, well, you can never be too safe. Like, listen, I don't think the Anderson family hanging out in their front yard barbecuing or whatever is gonna like hurt anybody.
I called the police on my mom. I was like, Mom, you need to stay home. She's like, we're doing good. We're driving to Sedona. I'm like, what?
Wait, so how is your family / our family? You think they're taking it seriously?
I think now they are, yeah.
My stepmom said she was on the front lines because she went out shopping. Are you wearing a mask? I wore a mask a couple times.
I wore a mask on the plane. This is before we knew better and stuff. Like I bought an N95 mask. This is Jesus, what's the date today? This is almost a month ago. So I bought a few masks. So like I wore them on the plane both ways, and I gave one mask to a friend who's flying back to Japan, so she has it for the flight. I have no more. I have no more of those masks that you're not supposed to have. But I have a.
Oh yeah, you were the one. You were hoarding all the N95s.
I didn't. Is there a Home Depot? What am I supposed to do? And they weren't telling us not to. Like,
right.
I'm not a ventriloquist. I can't predict the future.
It is funny how at first they were like, if you don't have symptoms, you don't need a mask. And then it went to, well, maybe you should probably wear a mask. And now it's like, you probably shouldn't leave your house ever again.
Well, they weren't telling us not to wear masks because there weren't enough masks. They didn't want hysteria. So they just say, you don't need a mask. And then they're like, oh, you know what? You can make your own mask. Like, what? And you know the mask, like people in Asia, it's the most common place where people walk around wearing masks. I can't even say it. It's because they're protecting. People think it's because they're all sick. No, it's because because they think that they're worried everyone else is sick. They're doing it because they might have a cold and they're protecting you from the cold.
Right. It's about other people. Americans don't understand that concept.
So the reason we're all told to wear these things is so we don't spread it to other people. The N95 mask will protect you from others. Right. But these other masks will protect you from spreading it. I'm a scientist, as I said now.
I've got some friends who are 3D printing interesting masks. And I've got a friend, he's making me, I'm not going to wear this. I probably will. It's the mask, like from the movie The Mask. It's like, but the one like before, it's not Jim Carrey green, like lime green, but it's like the wooden. I wouldn't wear that. That'd be stupid. Who would do that?
How is he making it?
3D printing. It's like you get a file and you print it. It takes a couple of days. People do things.
Wow. Yeah. You know what's funny though is like I feel like kind of like we're in that movie Blast from the Past. When I go outside, I feel like I'm in the movie Blast from the Past. It's the one where Brendan Fraser like was put in like a underground bunker because the family thought there was gonna be like a nuclear attack or something. Like and he gets out 20 years later, like whoa, but nothing ever happened. You know?
Right.
That's how I feel. I'm inside for 2 weeks. Then I go out and I'm like. So the grocery store is full and everyone's on the freeway and no one else is taking this seriously except for me.
You know, I've never thought about it. Like I was talking to some friends about how like I think about bad things a lot. Like I think about like, oh, what would or what would I do if there was a tornado or earthquake or an asteroid? I've never thought about a pandemic. And it's kind of like the least cool of the like there would never be a disaster movie about a pandemic that it's like 80% of people don't have symptoms just still go to the store and everything's fine. Like,
That's a good point. Like, as a
but
neurotic Jew, I think about dying all the time and all the different ways I can die. This was not one of them.
exactly. But now, if I had a headache last night and I was like writing my will.
Did you write your will?
No. I've thought about it.
In my garage, I found a 12-pack.
I'm lazier than I am neurotic. So
That's funny. I found a 12-pack of toilet paper in my garage, just like going through boxes that I haven't opened, like old Amazon boxes. And I think I'm gonna leave that in my will. I'm gonna write a will and just that's worth a lot of money, I think now, right?
I haven't been to the store. I don't know if they've restocked toilet paper.
You know what I found the secret is? There's websites where you can buy things in bulk, like for like if you work at like a company or a school, and you can buy like 80 rolls of toilet paper for like $60.
Oh, but it's like school toilet paper.
It's the sandpaper toilet paper.
It's like from the gas station, like that weird that round thing.
The giant roll.
Yeah, that's right. And you have to get the special dispenser and like install it, and then like the bottom flap never clips open.
You know what's available? It's like the size of a tire.
Yeah. It's like a spare tire. You just put it on your car.
This thing that was available on Amazon that people bought is like the Donald Trump toilet paper, where it's just like his face over and over again, and then it's like for RVs, and it's like I was like, I don't need RV toilet paper. I just want poop. Just don't poop. Why is everyone just worried about toilet paper? Just stop pooping, you psychos.
See, you're thinking about these things a lot better than I am.
Logic. You gotta be logical.
Hey, speaking, did you see that tiger got coronavirus in New York? Did you see that?
This sounds like the beginning of a Tonight Show Jay Leno joke.
Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear about the tiger? No. I really want somebody in these daily press conferences. I want somebody to ask Donald Trump about the tiger. Like I want to out of all the insane thing, I want to know what his response would be. Like, I deserve it. I deserve to see it.
He would talk about it for 10 minutes.
I know.
Then they'd be like, Special Tiger King's pretty good.
He would talk about how, because it's in New York, he would talk about how close he
grew up with the...
Did you see the thing where he talked about how he grew up in Queens and all that?
No.
Like, he's talking about... Donald Trump is talking about... He's describing his, like, childhood. You would think he's talking about, like, the movie Coming to America or something when they're in Queens. He's like, I grew up in that neighborhood. It's very close. It's like, you... Shut up. Stop talking.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Well...
Listen... Yeah.
Listen, tell people what you do. What's your whole deal?
I host a podcast. I host a podcast called Yes Have Some. Talk about movies, popular culture, a lot of like our favorite movie franchises like Ghostbusters, Jurassic Park, Star Wars, and it's fun. We've been doing it for a couple years. Taylor, you've been very supportive.
Tell us who you've had on it.
We've had major guests. Have you ever heard of the movie Ghostbusters 2? Have you ever heard of the actor Kurt Fuller? He was on our podcast. He's also in No Holds Barred. By the way, we haven't even talked about Hulk Hogan yet, but we'll get back to that.
We love wrestling.
Oh, we had when the last Ghostbusters movie came on, we had Paul Feig on the line.
Let me tell you, people watching or listening to this, however you're consuming this stuff, is I'm a stand-up comedian. I've been doing comedy for 16 years. I want to make movies, and I want to not have to do TV shows in my room. So
well, have you heard of the coronavirus?
But listen, I would like if I could talk to Paul Feig and tell him all these things I want to do with him, like get a meeting with him, it would change my life. My fucking cousin in Georgia, he like is friends with Paul Feig. He talks to him. He's been on his show. Paul Feig flew him out to LA to go to the Ghostbusters premiere.
Lies.
What's the lie?
You're giving this man a lot of credit. He was supposed to send me a poster and never showed up.
Paul Feig's evil.
Yes.
Those Jews. Don't trust those Jews. We're Jewish. That's the joke. I feel like I should say. Is he Jewish? I don't know. It sounds Feig.
I don't think so.
Oh, I don't know.
Does it?
Oh, I don't think he's Jewish. I don't know. I'm gonna Google this because I'm uncomfortable now.
Some of his mannerisms might be Jewish.
That's offensive.
Is that racist?
I think that's offensive. Yeah, he's. Paul Feet is Jewish. Some guy named
Paul Feet.
Some other guy. Feig's father was born Jewish and converted to Christian Science. Listen, he's genetically Jewish, okay?
It sounds great. You did it. Anyways, if anybody ever wants to check it out, we have a very good time. I host it with my wife and a good friend of ours, and
my wife,
you
can find
us. My wife, a good friend.
It sounds like you're talking about your wife as your wife and good friend. That was funny to me.
Yes, have some podcasts. You can find it on iTunes and Spotify and anywhere. And we got a YouTube channel, and yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's great. You guys are doing great things, and you helped me put this. Craig is a very funny man. He's one of my dearest friends in the world, even though he's my cousin, and he's very funny. And his wife is so hilarious and lovely and cool. And his friend, I don't like him that much.
No. Jake's great. Listen,
I'm joking.
People don't take cousins seriously. Like when it's a weird thing when you say, "Oh, that's my cousin." Like I think when someone's like, "Oh," my cousin was on America's Got Talent." People are like, "Oh, does he know? Does he know you?" No, not because it was America's Got Talent. It's always like
people make that reaction when you tell them about me. They're like, "Oh, that guy."
No. They're like, "Oh, your cousin." Like this sounds like a weird, like a fake, like, "Oh, I bet he doesn't have your phone number" kind of thing. But if you say, "Oh, it's my friend," people take friend more seriously than cousin.
That's true. That's a good
I don't know
point.
what.
Yeah, like I went to the Warped Tour with Jack Johnson's cousin in high school. What? That's a big deal.
If you said Jack Johnson's friend, I would be like, oh.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Listen, I feel like we did good, buddy.
Yeah, I'm really excited for you, man. I really think that this is a good thing for you to be doing. Mostly for
condescending.
No. For the children.
We're saving children. We're saving lives. Don'tTouchMePod.com. There's a GoFundMe. All the proceeds go to the charity. Goes right to the charity. And I don't know. Let's try to do some good for the world. We'll make people smile and like look at your beautiful beard.
You know what's gonna happen is the day you post this, they're gonna be like, the pandemic's over. The children are fine.
That's just so funny. I was thinking that today. I'm like, I was reading that like maybe it's not as bad as we think it's gonna be, you know? And I'm just like, no, I need like 4 months of this show. Right.
They're gonna be like, breaking news, all the children are okay. and people are gonna ask you for refunds.
Listen, that would be a miracle and a blessing, of course. But what's your social media stuff?
You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at YHS Podcast. And we have a Facebook page and all of that. If you type in "Yes Have Some" on your internet, you'll find us. It really is it's a really great outlet. We have a lot of fun, and it's really sad. All these movies we were looking forward to are all getting delayed, and we're struggling to come up with content. We've fallen so far from grace that we're reacting to old news. We're like digging up stories from like, you know, like how there's like all those forever there's like fake like news stories that, you know, oh, Jurassic Park 4 is going to come out in 2003. Let's talk about it. Like stuff that never happened.
That's a really funny idea.
Yeah.
Are you really doing that?
Like, we've done it. We call it we call it vintage news.
That's
where you're
just funny.
Like, yeah, it's good. And it's like from January of this year, we're like, longest record without a pandemic. World is doing good. That was a good one. By the way, I've got a friend at work in like October was like, hey, this is going to be bad.
Really?
Like, yeah. He was like, because there was all these like social media channels in China that were like, hey, this is bad. Don't listen to what anybody says. This is really bad. And then like in November, he was like, it's coming. And in December, I was like, get out of town.
I like how you're like, before we wrap up, I have to get out my conspiracy theory really quick. I have to spread that to the world.
5G.
Like a pandemic.
It's 5G. Not a 5G. I didn't know about the 5G conspiracy, but I was so excited to read about it.
Listen, that's why I stick to 4G, you know?
Oh yeah, it's like the kids.
That should be the ads for AT&T. We're only 4G. We're saving lives.
Yeah. You know, there's always that kid in like who couldn't afford a PS2. He just still has a PS1, and he's like tries to tell you why it's better.
Dude, it's so funny.
Or the kid who, in like 4th grade who's like, oh, my dad's in Japan. He's got a PS6.
That was me. That was actually me.
Yeah.
I remember I had that portable DVD player before everyone else did. The one
Yeah.
where it's just like a screen and a DVD that you can take on the plane with you, and it worked for like 3 hours, and then it stopped. And
Right.
my mom would only let me buy DVDs that were replayable, like Will Smith DVD collection, or like things you can watch over and over again.
Oh, so so messages from Get Smart you couldn't play.
Oh, nice, because they destruct, right?
Yeah.
Good reference. I have to explain the reference. It's great. We have some younger fans. You know?
Yeah, we're trying to save
our listen. they're busy trying to get food. This is not making a joke. Oh God.
They're busy trying to get
canceled?
famous.
Am I canceled now?
No.
They're not busy trying to get food because everyone listening donated money on don'ttouchmepod.com and donated to the GoFundMe. If you have $10, if you have $2, if you have $100, let's make some money.
Yeah, I'm gonna donate.
Really?
Yeah, don'ttouchmepod.com. It's gonna be great. We're gonna raise some money for the children.
This is good, for real.
This is good.
Makes me happy to talk to you. I'm excited about this. Listen, if you're listening, the audio might not be perfect. We're figuring things out, and I'm gonna post this maybe 3 days a week, 5 days a week. I don't know. I'm just gonna make a whole bunch of them because we all I don't know. Let's make each other smile and do some good for the world. Because it sounds so cheesy, but we're all in this together. It really is a thing, and it really makes me feel better. Like it sucks. Like we all have tragedies in our life, and it sucks. And it's kind of lonely, you know. But it really does feel like. Don't you feel a little bit comforting knowing that everyone's in this together? Like we're all affected. It's like it's a shared trauma. It's kind of beautiful in the tragedy.
No, I wish this was over immediately.
No, you're like, no, I wish it was just you, Taylor.
Yeah, I wish it was just you. I wish it was like the Truman Show, and you just think there's quarantine, but everything's fine.
Dude, I spent at least a good year of my life thinking I was in the Truman Show when that movie came out, and only based on the trailer, by the way. I didn't even see the movie, but I was like looking in the mirrors and checking the medicine cabinet.
Oh, that's another piece of the puzzle. I had an existential crisis from a Jim Carrey movie, Ace Ventura 2. I was like, am I a pet detective? Can I do this?
You're a psycho.
No, that's great. That's great.
That's great.
Hey, I appreciate you having me on. I think this is going to be really great, and I think it's going to be good for people because we do need entertainment and we need to like escape from doing nothing. We're doing something now.
No, this is great. Thank you, Cousin Craig from Yes Have Some Podcast at
YHS Podcast.
And what's the website again?
YHSpodcast.com. We try to have some brand synergy. But we couldn't get the Facebook page YHS Podcast because there's some other podcast called Young, Hip, and Sexual. And they've only had like 2 episodes. And I need to message them, and I need to have them relinquish their stronghold.
So there's this fucking comedian who has Taylor Comedy. I'm at Taylor Comedy on Instagram and Twitter, and there's at Taylor Comedy on Snapchat and on some other things, TikTok or whatever. And I'm like, hey, can I use this? Yeah, I have a lot of followers. I'm like, yeah, because they all think they're me. It was like right after America's Got Talent. Like, with all due respect, I get that you're a comedian named Taylor. It's fucking weird and annoying. Yeah. But like, change your name, you'll help both of us. That's like somebody who's got the Instagram at Cindy Crawford. Like, I would, but I just. Oh, by the way, what a modern reference. But yeah. So thank you everyone for listening. Don'tTouchMePod.com and. There's something else I was supposed to say. I don't know. We're going to keep making these things. I'm going to have special guests, different friends, family, celebrities, comedians, actors. If there's somebody that, if you want to be on this show, if you're a fan, you're listening, you're like, I'd love to be on the show, email me, don'ttouchmepod@gmail.com. And don'ttouchmepod@gmail.com. I'd love to have some, fans. If you do something interesting, you have a cool job, or you have something interesting to share about what your life is like. And thank you for listening.
No, what your life used to be like.
But thank you, Craig. I'll talk to you in about a minute after I hang up and ask you if this went well, or we should burn this whole fucking recording.
Well, we're not going to redo it, so.
All right, thanks, buddy.
All right. Bye.
Bye, everybody.